Welcome to the Fit 360 podcast. In this podcast, you'll hear from the top personal trainers and respected wellness practitioners in the space. They'll be talking about stuff like how moving your body is essential to a robust well-being, how to age with strength and with grace, how to nourish your mind and body through good nutrition versus the latest fad diets, and so much more. If you want to deep dive into a lifestyle of trainers and those who assist in true healthcare, then you're in the right place. This place was created for you to help you improve your future well-being.
Hello, family. We're back again with Fit 360 podcast, and I couldn't wait to talk to this guy, man. When I first moved to the A from New York, we hit it off like the same day I walked in the building when I went to work for Crunch Fitness. And just so happened that he's Jamaican too. And not only that, but he's an amazing trainer. He's one of my favorite trainer compadres that I've ever been around. The guy is super amazing, and it's a joy to just watch him work. He's a scientist in his field. Not only that, he's amazing with nutrition and herbs and all that stuff. He's like a herbal doctor, you know what I mean? He formed his own company, which we're going to get into later, his herbal nutrition program, and the guy's just elevating himself, and he is a walking billboard of health that I've ever seen. And people think I'm a walking billboard of health. This guy's got it going on. And so I'm proud to introduce my man Patrick Coleman here with us today, and I appreciate you being here, man.
Thank you, Fitz, for that illustrious, introduction. And sometimes I'm humbled by how others see me, but I am still growing. I just
gave you your flowers, man.
Yeah, man. I'm still growing and learning from everyone, and we're all great trainers. Some of us have a little bit more experience, and we all have a different style in which we choose to perform our mastery. So, I really appreciate everyone, how they see me and how I show up in the world. But it also takes a lot of work, and we both put a lot of work into what we do and what we believe in. And thanks for having me, everyone.
My pleasure, brother. My pleasure. So I was really looking forward to today.
Me too.
And before we got on camera, you said you too. So I guess this is definitely going to be a special one in the books. I really wanted this to be for the people who's listening and watching, because I know who you are. And all my trainer friends that I know in this business, I know you, because you and I, we spend a lot of time together. We talk a lot. And I'm not to say that I know everything about you, but whatever I don't know, I'm looking forward to finding those things as well. First question I have for you, brother. First of all, wait. I want to read this. I think this was fitting. This is one of my books that my go-to books called Being in Balance. And I try to live by this book as much as possible, by Wayne Dyer. And my wife bought me this book. But there's a beginning of the paragraph that I want to read, because I think it was very fitting to this conversation that we're about to have. So I kind of want to put that out there as a trigger into this conversation, and kind of people like molding that a little bit. And it goes like this: you are not what you eat, you are what you believe about what you eat. Balancing your desire to have your body feel great with what you feed it and how you exercise it. And I thought that was very fitting for this conversation, because you are a dude that's just fit as hell. As far as your nutrition game is sick, dude. I mean, for lack of a better, not sick in the sense of sick, but sick in the sense of good. It's amazing, and we're gonna get into a lot of that conversation. But first, let's do this. How did you get into this business in terms of your health journey? How did that get started?
Okay. Before I do that, I like that quote that you just read.
Okay.
It was so perfect for this moment. and it's so perfect for every moment.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how much you know how profound that balance statement is.
Mm-hmm.
According to Gautama the Buddha, he says balance is the art of life.
Absolutely, I definitely agree.
And we'll never really get there, but we have to strive every moment and for the rest of our lives to be in balance. That quote that you just read, and that quote from Buddha, balance is the art of life, is something that is a principle in my world. It's never changed.
As well as mine.
Right.
Yeah.
And I hold that at great esteem.
There's a short little quote that I always said to myself, life is about balance.
Yes, it is.
And I kind of remind myself with that as much as possible. It's not every day, because not every day you remember to do so, but when you do, just, say it. And I'm not beating myself up because I didn't say it today or yesterday or whatever. It's okay.
It is.
Because if I say it today, that carries through for as long as possible to the next time I remember to say it.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
So, how did I get into personal training? Well, like you, I grew up in Jamaica. I'm a country boy from deep in the country. Didn't really have much else to do but to run and play and have fun.
Right.
So athletics was my go-to. I came to America as a teenager, 15, and I played the American sport, although they didn't have the sports that I was used to in Jamaica.
Right.
I was a soccer player and a track runner, and my whole goal was to do Division I ball.
Soccer?
Yes.
Okay.
There was no Division II or Division III.
Right.
It was like Division I. And at the time...
All the way to the top.
All the way to the top. At that time, Division I was the highest level of soccer in America. They didn't have professional at that time.
Okay.
So that was the highest level that a person could aspire to. Anyway, I got into Central Connecticut State, and which was one of the best teams in Connecticut. And that gave me an opportunity to be around other great athletes and, so forth. Either way, you said that I eat very well. At one point, I wasn't eating very well.
Oh, we all do.
Yeah, I ate like everybody else. I had no schedule for my eating, and I got very sick. I actually suffered from a disease called hyperthyroidism, which is also called Graves' disease, which is an autoimmune disease. And if you know what autoimmune diseases are, it's basically your body fighting against itself. And it was caused because of toxicity around the thyroid area. And I had to learn from an early age on how to eat better in order to become better, because I had no choice. It was either change the way I was eating, change the way I was thinking, or I would die.
Well, that's two choices.
Right. So basically, yeah. So I had to change myself.
And you pick the one.
Yes.
You pick one.
Absolutely. Right. As far as personal training, I have been training from I was 18, 19 years old. I started coaching soccer from my coach just to make extra money and to pay my school fees. I started that with my soccer coach at Central, and then I went on to working for Bally's, which you know.
Wow. Yeah.
I
the Bally's used to be on Car Parkway?
No, I started working at this place called Holiday Matrix in West Hartford, Connecticut.
Okay.
Which was a huge Bally's, would have made that one look like
it ain't trying,
I worked there for 2 years, and mostly in the sales and management capacity. But as you know, Bally's is one of the best training facilities. Like, they really train their employees.
They were the premier gym back in that day.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We had to go through like 2 weeks of personal training because we had to know that. And then 2 weeks of sales and management training.
Right.
And I worked there for 2 years, and that was my first personal training, straight up personal training and full gym capacity.
Okay.
Prior to that, I did work for the Boys Club and the YMCA with different programs. Yeah, I did a lot of different programs for the YMCA in my local area in New Britain, Connecticut, by my school. And I also did some programs for the YMCA as well. and the boys club.
Nice. So you're tapping into your early experiences in
Right.
the field in those days.
So, man, I think I've been personal training all my life.
Feels
as
like
far as-
it, right?
Yeah, it feels like that. And then I moved on from...
And it
that
could
is-
well be, because your training don't necessarily start the moment you get the job. You usually start before that.
Exactly.
Which just leads you into the job.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
After that, I went into another space called Wow Fitness. It was more of a LA style gym workout world. It was called. And
Okay.
I worked there as a personal
Never heard
trainer.
of it.
Yeah, it's a small. It's a franchise, but
Okay.
it's mostly in LA.
Okay.
And we had one in Connecticut. I worked there as a personal trainer, and then I went back to the YMCA again in Hartford, and I worked there as a personal trainer as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like I've been personal training for about 30 plus years.
Cool.
And to be honest, personal training has saved my life.
Why is that? Why you say that?
So as you know,
Yeah.
there's some of us who will just have this insatiable energy.
Mm-hmm.
I used to bounce off the walls, man.
Right.
I don't think I was ADD,
Right.
although I needed to be.
Well, it wasn't ADD then, but now with the way things are running,
Right, I would have been
label
called
you as that.
ADD.
Right.
Yes,
Right.
back then we didn't have ADD, but I just needed to either be in the gym or on the soccer
On the
field,
soccer field,
or
yeah.
fighting or doing something.
burning off
Right.
your energy. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
For the day.
right, for the day.
Right.
So I realized that if I wasn't in the gym, being constructive in the gym, I was being
Your
destructive
energy would have been
outside.
somewhere else where
Right.
you probably didn't want to be. Yeah.
And I realized that every time I left that structure, I would get in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to make a choice.
Right.
Choice
again.
It's all choices.
Yeah.
So if I wasn't actively playing soccer, I had to, meaning if I wasn't in school or I wasn't, on a team that was like a consistent basis,
Right.
I found that I would get myself in some trouble.
That kind of energy can lead to babies too. Lots of kids.
Oh my goodness.
Right?
It could make-
Unwanted kids.
Yeah.
Unwanted kids.
And when you have that energy and you have that look, you get a lot of action.
Of course.
So
Of course.
I learned from an early age that this was the place, this was my sanctuary.
So, getting into fitness saved your life, as far as you know, and that is real for you. However, anybody want to think about that, because it does save people's lives in many, many ways. All right. From a health standpoint, from a choice standpoint, for, like I said, having the energy that you had to put that energy somewhere, and you had to put it somewhere constructive.
Absolutely.
Where on the other end of that, it benefits you health-wise, it kept you going, it burns up the energy. And so you came back, you were in balance. Back to that balance again.
Kept me in balance.
Kept you in balance.
Exactly.
Right.
And although I was around the gym and I did work for a lot of different facilities in my early days, I still didn't embrace it as wholeheartedly
As you do now.
as I do now.
Right.
Or as
And
I
you wasn't
did,
supposed to.
as I did 20 years ago
Right.
to now. Because with me, it was about money. And in Connecticut, even though we had beautiful gyms and there was a lot of people in the gym, it was cold basically 9 months out of the year.
In Connecticut. Right. Yeah.
So people
No,
were
up north.
right. So people were always in the gym, and so people stayed aloof, more fit than areas where there's a lot of activities outside, and eating activities like down here in Georgia. So I wanted to make more money. So I would always get distracted sometimes by other activities or other things
That you could make money
that
from.
could make more money
Gotcha.
from. And I didn't embrace personal training at that time in my early 20s as wholehearted as I could have. I know that it kept me in balance.
That's your own personal achievement from what
Right.
you got from that.
Although I had a desire to make more money.
Absolutely. I
And
get that.
at that time, I felt like that wouldn't provide me with the lifestyle that I wanted to live.
So you did got some diversion and got in some trouble.
Man, it was tough. Yeah. 20s was hard. It was
the
rough.
trouble will find you sometimes, man.
Yeah.
Trouble will find you. But you know what? I believe that trouble will never go away. It can't, because it's if you don't get into some kind of trouble, then you're not growing. It's what makes us into decision makers.
Right.
You know what I mean? If you don't have this little trouble over here and you have the path over here, which is the righteous path, you can either get stuck over there, or you can find your way to the righteous path by making decisions.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And life is gonna always be that way, because without it, there's no purpose.
Right.
We wouldn't have any purpose. So it is what makes us great, if we're willing to follow the road and not get caught up consistently or continuously.
Right.
But there's going to be different troubles. You get into this trouble, you work your way out of it. There's a little more trouble, a different type of trouble over there. You work your way out of it, and
Right.
it's what makes us grow.
Right.
But when we do that, and you look back, when you come through, you can say, "Man, I'm glad I went through that, because it taught me this and this." And I have so many moments in my life where I can refer to things like that.
Exactly.
And I'm happy of who I became because of those growth periods.
And that's the thing, is what you're becoming, you know, as you're being a part of this whole world, navigating through. It's really what you're becoming.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, you know, the gym always was my safe haven. It always kind of balanced me out. So I always want to make more money, and I decided that after the second time at the YMCA in Hartford, I was gonna get into something that was more lucrative, I thought, for me. I started moving on to the health insurance field, and I got a job at Aetna.
Mm-hmm.
And I was working at Aetna for a while, moved on from there, and I went to another space called, another insurance company called Connecticut Insurance.
Mm-hmm.
And I worked there for a pretty long time. It was a very secure corporate job.
Mm-hmm.
Gave me everything I needed, you know.
Benefits and all that stuff.
And I looked like I was the guy, you know,
Right.
had a suit and tie on, going to the office. And man, one day I just looked at myself, I'm like, Patrick, you're getting old. This is not you. This is not who you're. This does not bring you balance. This does not give you the meaning to life,
Right.
that you're looking for. You know, you're here in a tie and sitting in an office doing this
So many
administrative
people
stuff.
look at that as success, though.
Exactly. Everyone used to look at me like, oh, he's doing his thing.
Uh-huh.
And to me, I was dying inside every day.
Wow. That's
just
incredible.
Yeah, every day you get up, you have to put on a suit and tie going into this office. It wasn't
It's not
me,
the
man.
suit and tie, though. It's the work. It was with the suit and tie.
It was everything.
It was everything.
I'm a athleisure wear guy, man. I like my shorts, I like my hoodies, I like my t-shirts. I was looking at myself, Fitzy, man, and I was like, I'm dying. And I'm like, what's the meaning to life? Like, what am I doing here? This is not me.
Yeah.
So I sat there one day and I said, you know, who am I? You know, who am I? And what am I supposed to be doing with my life? What do I love to do so much?
That
What
you
do I
can
love
get
to
to.
do so much that I'll do for free? But I'm so good at it that people got to pay me.
Wow.
I sat there in
Now
that.
that's a statement, brother.
Bro, I
say that.
sat there.
Say that again.
I sat there in my office and I said, who am I? Right? What's my meaning to life? What do I love to do so much that I'll do it every day for free? But I'm so good at it that people gotta pay me to do this every day. And bro,
That statement right there.
a
is
light
everything.
went off. A light went off and I'm like, you know what? I'm not looking back. I'm not gonna treat this like some little game anymore. I don't know how much money I can make from this, but I know I can start living again. I mean, I was getting old. Every day I went to work. I was 32 years old at the time. And I was like, no, I'm not ready to get old. I'm not ready to give up that youthfulness about me. And right there I made a decision and my entire life changed.
So something you said just now, that's just other than that big statement that you made, that was so profound. You said you were 32 and you felt old. But most people would look at you and say, you're crazy. What do you mean? You're 32, you're not old, because you didn't have wrinkles in your face. But tell me what old really is for you.
So
you just said it, but I want you to say it again.
Old is when you're in a fixed rhythm. You've cultivated a hypnotic rhythm about yourself. Meaning you are fixed in what society has chosen for you to be.
Not what you've chosen.
Not what you've chosen to do for yourself and to be for yourself. Because you're not becoming anything.
Yeah.
You're just
no pressure.
Yeah, you're stuck in that box and you're just living the life that was
you were told that this is the success of what life is supposed to be.
You have not creatively and spiritually cultivated a habit that you want to enjoy for the rest of your life.
That brings smile to your face, joy to your heart.
Joy and peace.
That makes you want to do this thing consistently.
Exactly.
And there's so many nuances of changes that comes with that. Flip-flop, like a little bit of this, a little bit of that. So it's not just one. The rhythm it's like music. The rhythm doesn't stay the same. It's like
exactly
bop, 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 bop. There's so many sounds to it.
Right.
Yes.
And as a personal trainer, we're creative people.
Absolutely.
Well, you're a very creative person. I saw what you did to this gym. And I'm not lying to you, Fitzy. When we spoke, I remember sitting on Cobb Parkway in front of this mattress place. And we were sitting there right where in the same parking lot at LA Fitness right now. And you told me exactly what you wanted. And it was this. Remember?
Yeah.
And do you remember
Yep.
And you remember what I said to you?
That I don't remember.
Well, I'll tell you what I said to you. And this is profound. I sound like Deion Sanders right now.
Hey,
well, this is profound. So I looked at this man and I said to him, yo, man, I don't want to be a slave to any building or anyone. And you looked at me and said, Patrick, you got to be a slave to something. I never forgot that statement. Now that was a profound statement. Either way, personal training.
It's what slavery you enjoy.
It's what slavery you enjoy. What you choose, what rhythm you choose to dance to for the rest of your life.
Right.
And if it's spiritual, creative, that rhythm can take you on a beautiful journey in this life.
That is the payment can come in money, currency, it can come in joy.
Right.
But the biggest payment to me is joy. If you do what you love, there's no problem you getting up every day and going to do that. Because I don't consider what we do work.
I haven't worked in a long time,
It's
bro.
play.
I can't remember. I think the last time I worked was when I left Connecticut.
That corporate job. Yeah, absolutely.
When I left there, I no longer had a job.
Right.
Yes, this is my life's work. But like you said, it is play.
It is play.
It's a creative.
For lack of a better word, because we think of work. Okay, work. Because we make money at it.
Right.
You said it, man. That you're so good at it that people will want to pay you for it.
They have to pay you for it.
Right. And on that note, many times, more than once. Again, I've said this statement many times, and I'm gonna keep saying it because you never know who's listening that haven't heard it. But more than once, clients have told me to raise my rate. And to me, that's that statement you just said, that people are willing to pay you more than even what you're willing to charge them for.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it gives you confidence. When you're doing something that is authentic to you, it gives you confidence in knowing that this is what I'm worth.
Yes.
And you can ask someone. And I don't think that you should price yourself out of the market just because you think you're good.
Because you think you're good.
Although you should know what you're worth.
Absolutely.
And you should stick to it.
Right.
The reason why I knew personal training was what I wanted to do, like I said, it saved my life. It gave me the ability to be creative. It gave me the ability to learn and research within myself and also show myself to the world artistically.
There's so many parts to it.
Yeah, there's so many parts to it. It's not just one way or one style of training.
Right.
You could develop your own style.
With your own style on top of the ones that's already there.
Exactly.
Right. You're also one of the big part of it for me is servitude, helping other people. Imagine you create what you're doing is changing people. You're literally saving lives.
You know, I was gonna get to that. You actually
Get to it, brother.
You actually said exactly what I was about to say next. That ability to have a quality to serve others was what changed me. What made me understand what love was. And I had to break love down in four synonyms, 4 separate words before I could really understand it. Because I always thought that I knew how to love. And when I was training myself to become the personal trainer that I am right now, I had to learn to be very compassionate with myself. Is that I only knew what I knew at that moment, and I was open to learn so much more. I started becoming very gentle to myself. I started becoming very patient with myself. And I started becoming very humble to myself. And that is how I express myself to my clients.
Complete self-love.
Right. You know, I treat my clients as I treat myself.
Yes. Give them, and that's the love you express to them.
And that's the love that I express to them, because when
you only want the best for them, man.
Let me tell you something. I came from sports where I love boxing, I love fighting, I love soccer, I love football, I love aggressive, combat sports sometimes. And I always thought that I was a beast. But becoming a personal trainer has really balanced out that beast inside, brought me to a place where, like I said, I can express my gentleness to others instead of fighting and beating them up. I being that notorious person out there, that aggressive person, I can tone it down and be softer to my clients.
Because you're also teaching.
Right. I don't have to show that other side of me. I'm not a screamer with my clients.
You can always take that out in the bag and the machines and the equipment. And
right.
Yeah.
I don't have to take that out of my clients.
No.
I don't scream on my clients. I build relationships with them.
Absolutely.
Compassion, meaning, oh yeah, I might be able to run faster than most people and lift heavier than other people, but that's just one of my superior qualities. What are my inferior qualities? And my clients bring their superior qualities to me, and that humbles me. Like right now, I have a gentleman who had surgery a year ago, and after the surgery, he was paralyzed on one side. It takes him 20 minutes to walk from the parking lot when I first met him to the gym. So I go out there and I walk really slowly with him. And I walk from the car
into the gym with him.
Into the gym, and after our workouts, I walk very slowly back. And that brings a meditative quality to me. When I'm done walking...
There's a thing called walking meditation, by the way.
Oh yeah, I do it all the time.
Yeah.
And I practice that with him. I'm just walking slow with him, but within, I'm focused on my breath.
Right.
I'm focused on, my eye movement, softening my eyes, looking only about 5 to 6 feet up in front of me.
Yeah.
And I'm focused on my heel to toe and my inhaling breath and my exhaling breath. I'm doing all those things. He gives me the opportunity to take 20 minutes from my busy day.
Wow.
To walk.
The things you get back from just pouring love out to someone.
That's it, man.
The love you get back, man.
Yeah, just being patient, being gentle.
It's a boomerang effect.
And I would not have that opportunity had it not been personal training. Firstly, I would not have had that opportunity, not becoming a personal trainer, to research these qualities, these meditative
finding things about
principles,
yourself. Right.
and all of this stuff. So my clients have paid me to research information that they're too busy to do.
Right.
So that I can help
Which also benefits you.
Benefits me, but it benefits them
as well.
And it's a constant search.
It's a conduit, though. It's like
it is a conduit.
You're plugged into the source.
Yes.
And you transform it from yourself to them.
Right.
And they also get plugged in.
Absolutely.
Eventually at some point.
Like I was
and it also comes back to you again.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like I was telling one of my clients
That's where that
today.
360 comes in.
Right.
The name of my gym.
And
that revolution. It's so constant.
It's a great vibration.
Yes.
It's a great
Absolutely.
frequency. And
Absolutely.
all vibration or frequency moves in 365 degrees.
Yes.
And it's like
Well, no, that's correction. 360 degrees.
360 degrees.
365 is the days.
Right.
But yeah, 360 degrees
Well,
is
360
a revolution.
degrees.
Is a revolution.
360. Oh, you're right. 360. My
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah.
Thanks for the correction. Yeah, so 360 degrees is one big circle, and it's a big cycle. So, like I said, my clients wake me up in the morning. They give me the meaning to get up in the morning. They give me the meaning to read and to edify myself more every day so that I can become a better person.
Because when they ask you questions, you want to know to give them the answer.
And I was talking to one of my clients this morning, and I said, I don't live my life by opinions anymore, ever since I became a personal trainer. Because I have the time now to research. I used to be very quiet.
But also where you're doing your research too, right?
Well,
because not all source of information is correct.
That's true, and that's the thing that
and that's where you have to use your inner being to feel the truth into that information.
Absolutely. Well, me and you are a little bit older than most people out here that call themselves personal trainers.
Right.
We're over 50, so when we were coming up,
we had that wisdom.
No, but we didn't have internet.
Yes.
We didn't have Google to go to. So we had to actually buy books. We had to actually go to the library and the bookstore, and we couldn't get information just
readily
from one book. We had to get different source to really come up with information that we could put it all together. Now you go on Google and you could be a doctor in 10 minutes.
10 minutes. You know everything. Google University.
Right. So we came up reading and finding our information through getting different books and putting it all together. So yeah, I don't live by opinions anymore, man. Everything that I try to say has been coming from years of research, science and tradition and so forth. So yeah.
Well, here's another source of information, right? The more you dive into self internally, is the more your inner university opens up.
Absolutely.
Because I believe that we have everything we need to know inside of us.
You're right.
But not all of us are aware of it, number one, or even know how to even believe in the feelings that we feel and the vibrational connection that we have to source to really truly believe in those feelings and trust them. And so the ones who do self and you is know how to connect to those things and again feel the truth. So that's that internal, and I'll give it a name, internal university. It's the constant school that you never graduate from.
Absolutely. I like the term that you use, internal university. I also use the term internal engineering. So
that's
basically,
yes,
through my experience, what I've found out is the years that I put meaning into my life and found a direction that I wanted to go through using the vehicle of personal training. I had a direction to go through, and searching and researching the information that would make me basically cultivate my own style, which was more traditional Chinese medicine and Ayurvedic medicine and Rastafarian cultures.
Right.
I started more on a internal basis rather than an external basis. And that was my stepping stone to create a style, is through those science. And it took a lot of reading, which helped me to be able to read my environment in time. So
I like how you when you say reading, my mind went to books. But it's not necessarily books. It's
not necessarily books, but first you have to be able to identify and relate to other great minds who are able to read outside of themselves and then express it in writing. So I started there and reading as much as I could at the time, till right now, through my experience and the knowledge that I've accumulated over the years, now I can get my information from my environment. My birds in my area where I live in a very wooded area. You know, almost look like the Amazon. I love Georgia because of that. Because
a lot of moss.
Right. I love Georgia because of the big trees and
space,
and the
air,
space that it gives. We both lived in New York, and you know that's not
concrete jungle.
So down here, my trees tell me when it's going to rain. My trees tell me so much that's going to happen in the the time to come.
Right.
My birds tell me. Right. My squirrels tell me.
Right.
The wind tell me. I can relate to my environment so well.
Nature.
Talking about environment, food and so forth, I really focus on 3 forms of energy that us as humans feed off in our environment. The first is biochemical energy, which is the foods we eat, air we breathe, and water we drink. Secondly, mechanical energy. That's what we are. Personal trainers. How we functionally move to, create eccentric motion and concentric motion to make our body stronger. But also how other things move within me. I'm becoming so connected that I can identify and relate to each cell in my body as it's moving within.
It is alive.
And I communicate
and
with
it listens.
I communicate with each cell.
Yes.
And once I can communicate with one cell in my body, it actually communicates with all the cells in my body.
Yes, sir.
So we dealt with biochemical energy. We dealt with biomechanics, electrical energy. That's the energy that we get from minerals, from the foods that we eat.
Electrolytes.
Exactly. The next one is photon energy. How much sunlight I get, how much darkness I get, how much sleep I get, how much melatonin my body produces.
They all play their place in certain times of the day, in the 24 hours, the 24 hours that you have.
How much HGH my body can accumulate at nights, because that's when you accumulate those protein is through rest. Melatonin.
Chemicals are built.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
it should be dark room, no light. It should be complete rest, right?
Exactly.
Yes.
So those are the things that I focus on every day. I try to focus on the energy that's around me. I'll try to stay in tune with that because I know that I'm a receptor of those things. They change my thoughts. When I'm tired, when I'm not eating the right minerals, because I'm not getting enough rest at night, when I'm not getting enough sunlight, when I'm not moving the proper way, my thoughts change.
So the other day I called you and you were going out walking, and you said the reason why you're going walking is because you had some upset stomach or some stuff was going on, and so you wanted to go out. Now, most people have upset stomach. They would stay inside and be inside because of that, or take some kind of medicine. Why did you choose to go walking, and how did that benefit? Cause you to feel better?
Man, biomechanics is one of the most important energy that we use. The way you move outside of you really dictates the way that everything moves within you. Yeah, my metabolism changed when I move. I might not be able to run or sprint one day,
right?
But I can walk.
Absolutely.
Even if I haven't experienced COVID that I know of. Although if I did experience
and you
that,
won't.
Exactly. If I did experience that, what I
mean,
would do is I would go for a walk or a slow jog. I would try to keep moving and use my biomechanics to help whatever is happening inside of me to pass through. I'm not gonna sit.
You actually
dormant.
speed it up.
Right. I'm not gonna sit still and allow this thing to cultivate its own rhythm within me. I'm gonna use my chi, my energy, my mental energy.
And then chi.
Yeah.
Inner chi.
It's called qi gong.
Yes. Which is your inner chi.
Which is chi, which means energy, and gong, which means to work. I'm gonna use and your mind is the energy. I'm gonna use my internal mental energy to change the experience that my body of cells are going through right now. So I'm going to try to hydrate myself as much as possible with the best water and any fluids that are coming inside my body. I'm going to try to get the best minerals that I can possibly get from the foods that I eat. Yeah, I take a lot of sea moss. So ever since you know me, I've been making my part.
Yep.
And it's loaded with sea moss and high energy and high vibratory foods.
Yes. Live food. You're a live food dude.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm going to focus on that. And I'm going to also focus on my rest.
Speaking of food, just explain what your daily intake like in terms of food. Like when you get up in the morning, run it through for me.
Okay. Let me start with now. Okay. And then I'll get into that. I knew I was going to sit with you. And we're going to have this amazing time right now. So I wanted to be, as you said earlier, a conduit. Because I believe that I'm only a receptor. Or you can call me an antenna. And to be a receptor, you have to be free. You have to be open. And I wanted the information to flow through me. I didn't want any blockages in me. So I've been fasting since 11 o'clock yesterday, a.m. I have not eaten anything but drink water since yesterday because I wanted to be free and I wanted our conversation to flow
through source, through you.
Right.
Yeah.
And I wanted that the information that was coming in from our conversation to be as effective as it possibly could be. Right, and clear. So I have not eaten anything. I've been fasting since 11 o'clock yesterday. And I typically do a 24-hour fast on a regular basis, depending upon the events that I'm going to be performing in the future. Because I believe energy first and then event.
Gotcha.
So I eat according to the events that I'm going to perform. So my typical day is I'll wake up and I always try to do an affirmation, some kind of positive affirmation to kind of clear my mind and get me set for the day. Then I like to have fruits. More than likely, watermelon in the summertime and or grapes. I love watermelon and grapes, but it always have to have seeds in it.
Agree.
Right. Sometimes I'll have some water like I had earlier today, some lemon water to just clear the mucus out of my system, and then I go to my fruits. That's usually my typical way. So some lemon with some water, lemon juice and water, some fruits, and then my go-to after my fruits is my porridge. And my porridge is made with coconut milk.
Man, that porridge gives you life.
It is life.
Yes, yeah.
Because it's coconut milk, sea moss, all the highest quality minerals that the body can actually absorb. And then later on that day, I'll have loads of vegetables. I can eat vegetables all day. I'm a vegetable eater. I love raw vegetables. I love steamed vegetables, but mostly raw. High fibrous food. Right.
Yeah. As alive.
Right.
Yeah, as live as possible.
Exactly. I don't identify myself as a vegan or a vegetarian in any way, although I...
Because you're eating the way you're supposed to.
Right.
There's no label necessary.
Exactly. Sometimes my body may call for something a little bit more, meaty, and I'll go to a fish. I love fish. But that doesn't mean that I won't eat, like a meat once in a while.
And you feel when you feel for it, you eat it.
When my body calls for it, if I'm training really hard and I want to be aggressive, I might want to get something meaty because it does bring out a lot of aggression in me,
right? And
it makes me have a better workout at that time. But that's typically it. I cut my meals off at 4 o'clock, typically. Sometimes I go over, but 9 times out of 10, most of my meals are done by 4 o'clock.
By 4 o'clock.
Because I want to give my body time to rest and
process it.
Let
it work its way through you.
And I also follow an art. It's an old traditional Chinese art, that a way of thinking that your liver is your second heart. And at night, your liver requires as much blood flow as possible. So when you eat earlier, it takes a few hours for your food to digest. And hopefully by then, your stomach would release all the blood that it takes to digest the food and process the food, and then sends it to your liver for proper cleaning and rejuvenating the liver as well at night, which is the biorhythmical time that liver requires to rejuvenate itself and to clean the blood, because that's the only way you clean your blood is through your liver.
Right.
So you want to release as much of your blood flow in your body as you possibly can, so that it feeds through your liver and cleans itself, but also rejuvenate that liver, which is the second biggest organ in your body as well.
And add to that, your blood is healthy and clean, you get the best nutrients to muscle, which create your energy source.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because your liver, we talk about our environment outside of us.
Right.
But your blood is your internal environment.
Right.
If you want to know anything about a person, check their blood. And once your blood is clean and healthy, more than likely you're clean and healthy too.
Right.
So, it's very important.
Because you can't be clean, you can't be dirty and have clean blood.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. So if your internal environment is healthy, then you're healthy. And then you can manifest that out to a healthier or health and fitness and so forth.
Question, is part of health for you to prevent yourself from dying, or is it to keep you mobile as long as possible?
Okay. So health to me is how I want to experience life. I never think about dying.
It's inevitable.
Right. And
Why waste time, dude?
Right.
Yeah.
So I never think about dying. Like, dying is not a part of my vocabulary. Life is a part of my vocabulary. So a part of health and fitness is about how I experience life right now.
Because if you can't move and function and do things, you can't really experience life.
What do you call something that's still and not moving? And everything.
What is that?
It's dead.
Even rock is moving.
Even a rock is moving.
Yeah.
Even some
It has the energy that it needs.
Has an energy.
It has the energy that it needs to be
oscillating
a rock.
a certain
Yeah,
frequency.
as a rock. Yeah.
So I think movement is life, and the more efficient I am at functioning and moving at any age,
Right.
is the amount of life that I'm experiencing and expressing. You don't necessarily have to be active to move. You can move internally. Because remember, that energy, that mental energy, you can shift it to any part of your body without actually moving. So there's an internal exercise or internal movement that you can make.
And it's all necessary.
It's all a part of health
part of
and
who
fitness.
we are as humans.
It's just the level of consciousness that we are at different times and how we see health and fitness. Some people are just on that basic level where we're just pumping weights.
Which is basic life too.
Basic life. But as you cultivate more in this health and fitness field like we're in, it brings us on the journey to where we're so deep inside of us. Sometimes people don't understand us except ourselves.
Right.
And that's what we need to fellowship with each other, like we're doing right now, because we're learning from each other.
Right.
I'm learning from myself right now talking.
And it's the very reason why I created this podcast, because I don't think that we are the people that pay us ask us questions. That's as far as it goes. And I find that people who are trained by a trainer get the information from the trainer, and then the celebrities are being asked the pertinent questions because they're a celebrity.
Right.
But no one is asking us, the personal trainers. People mimic us and they say things about us, but no one is being asked, who are we? What are we? How are we living? Those things directly from us.
Right.
And I hope that this podcast can really get out there and reach the right people who are asking the questions and can hear it from us, have the opportunity to hear it from us.
I love online training, but it's nothing like in-person training.
It
has its place.
Right.
Yes.
Because it's better if you're moving somehow than not moving at all.
Absolutely.
But nothing beats the close-knit, when your client walks through the door and they feel that energy radiating from you into them, it lights them up. And you go through the training with them and you're having conversation and you let them move and they're sweating and they feel your energy around them, the support. And when they finish and you hit hands and you say, great job, that was amazing, and they feel amazing from that because they got it from their trainer. Like, my trainer said I did a good job today. They feel good about that 1 hour or
Exactly.
30 minutes that they spent with you. It really sets their day apart. I give my clients hugs. And not because the hugs has so much energy behind it. Not to say everybody need to do it, but I come from a place of love It's not a sexual thing. It's a love for this human being that's in front of me. And even my male friends, I hug my male friends.
Right.
And I don't like pat hugs. I can't stand that pat. Don't pat me.
Exactly.
I'm not a damn dog. Hug me, embrace me, squeeze me.
Right.
Heart to heart, show me love. I don't care if you're a dude or you're a woman. It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
It's human love. That's what I'm expressing to you.
Fitzy, before I embraced personal training and took it wholeheartedly and made it the meaning and the vehicle to my life, I didn't smile.
Really?
I know. I look like the smiler. I look like Buddha smiling all the time. From you know me, I'm always a smiler, right?
Yeah.
I never smiled.
Before?
I never smiled before I was a person. I took personal training wholeheartedly. I never hugged.
What?
And that's one of the things that people talk about. He hugs everybody.
Let him talk.
Yo, I've heard people say, "Oh, yeah, he just hugs everybody," like, and I'm like, okay.
All right. So
you don't know my history.
Is there a problem?
You don't know my story. Hugging to me, smiling to me is therapy.
It is.
It helps me. It helps my clients.
You do. You not only laugh, you smile. You laugh.
The funny thing, I used to
You
laugh.
love to laugh.
I used to laugh, but it's a quality that's totally different.
It's welcoming.
That's totally different than when you smile, when you have that blissed smile on your face. It's totally different. Anybody can laugh, but not many people can really genuinely smile.
Mm-hmm.
And when I learned to smile, I think that's when I became a personal trainer. That's when I had trained myself to cultivate peace within me. And I was able to appreciate people for just who they are and myself, who I was. And when I was able to hug people, that was when I started connecting with my source and my true self. And it was not easy for me. Somebody say hello, and my hand just go up. Somebody walking on, I just hug them. Somebody, I see their face, and I just give them a really nice smile. You know what I've recognized in my being lately? Sometimes I'm sitting outside. Like I said, I live where there's a lot of woods.
You're in your jungle.
Yeah, it's like a jungle. And I chose it because I love to be in the woods and I love to just clear my mind there. I find that wild birds come and try and perch on me. In Jamaica we say pitch. But they perch on me. Like squirrels run up to me. Squirrels run up to me and they look at me and I'm looking at them. And we're just there talking. And I'm smiling with them. You know what a yellow jacket is?
It's that bee.
It's a bee, but it's a nasty bee.
Yeah.
They sting.
It's like a wasp. It's a wasp.
It's like a
actually.
wasp.
Yeah, it's a wasp.
I had one perch on me. No fear of this yellow jacket. This yellow jacket had no fear of me. The yellow jacket perched on my hand, on my arm.
Naked skin.
Naked skin. I'm gonna just watch the thing. So the Jamaican I come out and I'm in love.
That's all right.
Me just look on the yellow jacket, and I watched this yellow jacket just engage with me. Until it was ready to get up and just go on its way. I was not afraid that I was stung by some yellow jackets.
If you were afraid, he would have stung you because you weren't afraid.
Fear.
You were connected and you were one, and you wanted
very comfortable.
It wanted to play with you.
Very confident.
Yeah.
And that is what personal training has given me, the confidence to be engaged with my environment. I feel like I can almost, when I'm training someone, I'm not just building muscles. I feel like I'm within them. I'm moving inside of them. And I'm giving them just so much of me.
I see it, man. I watch you do your thing, man.
Yeah.
And funny enough, I am the same way. I come alive. There are things that happens in that moment, especially when you have that. Not all clients bring that out in you, though. At least for me, anyway. Some clients, it's a little bit more work, but it's not a bad thing, not in a bad way. It's a little bit more work. You have to give them more attention.
Right.
But there are some clients that just, you flow so well because there are things about that client that's just, they know the exercise, they pick it up, especially when you're a trainer who comes with new stuff all the time.
Right.
And you like explain this, show them, and they get into it, and their body's moving the way they're supposed to, and you look at them and you feel like it's you doing the exercise. It's no better feeling than that, man. It just lights you up.
It does.
And so I understand wholeheartedly what you're talking about.
And what I've found in this personal training space that we're in, how I've learned to build relationships with people is relating to an individual at whatever level they're on. And through communication, I'm able to get them to cooperate, to become an extension of me.
Right.
Because I know they're coming to me as an example for being what they're trying to become.
Yeah.
You know, and I put the work in to try to become that as well. So once I get them on that once I'm relating to them where they are, and I'm like, there isn't anyone that I've met in a very long time that I wasn't able to like get to that level to where they're like, okay, I'm excited to do this, you know, or I can get them to cooperate with whatever crazy creative exercise I come up with that day. They're like, oh man, this guy, what is that again? Yeah. And I just
they're like, did you go to bed and thought about
like,
this? I'm like,
did you come up with that?
It just came to me right here, right now.
It just came up to me right now, and I feel like it was relevant to what we were doing, and it's gonna help you to really get out some of the kinks and some of the stagnation that you have.
Right. This exercise was designed for you here, right now, in this moment. It is for you.
Absolutely.
And it's going to benefit you 100%.
Whether it's a walking meditation, whether it's, you know,
the case may be.
Jumping jacks, whether it's jumping ropes, sprinting, whatever it is.
Right.
You know, I feel it. So that's what it is. There's no cookie cutter, man. It's reality.
So let's transition a little bit. You branch into another business.
Yes.
Because of personal training.
Everything is because of personal training.
What was that business you transitioned into?
So, being
the next business, right?
So being a personal trainer, it was great touching 10, 15, 20 people a day, and just being able to express myself creatively to others and help them to reach the goals that they wanted, and also just be able to elevate myself as well in my creativity. But once you've reached a certain place in your creativity, it's like you know that you want to go further.
There's always more.
There's always more. And I started making health and beauty products. The first one I made was a detox that helped to remove fecal matter and undigested foods from the colon, kidney, and the liver. And I was only using it for my clients. You know, it's a very bitter product. And from there, I've cultivated a business which is now called P3 Lotus Living, which is the power to protect and prevent diseases using herbs, roots, and seeds to remove parasites, funguses, and inflammation from the body. Those are my 3 target points: parasites, funguses, and inflammation, because I believe that's the start of all diseases.
Right. So how many products do you have now?
Right now I have about 14 products, but I'm trying to bring it down back to 7.
Because you give it more attention, those things.
They give it more attention and direct it into just about 3 or 4 cell foods, which are things that you do orally, and 3 or 4 skin foods. So basically, the cell foods help to remove the parasites, the funguses from the body and inflammation from the body. And the skin foods help to put minerals back into the body transdermally. And also the cell foods puts minerals into the body too, orally. But your body does not only feed through your mouth.
No.
You have receptors all through your body. So your skin is what's called somatoreceptors. Yeah.
Right.
And it receives information just like, you know,
internally.
It receives food, which it turns into information internally. And so that is what P3 Lotus is.
So why do you want to come back down to 7?
Right.
Why exactly? Give me
so that
more
I
on
could
that.
be more precise, I could be more direct, and I could
give more to those 7 versus 14.
Right.
So you spread thin.
I don't want to spread thin. I want to kind of keep it
So
kind of
keep
consolidated.
it it's quality.
Yes.
No more quality.
Right.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
You have another company that got birth out of this as well.
Right. So
what was that?
It's called Black Amour, which means black love.
Okay.
Now, I feel that our community as black people, we have a lot of distractions going on right now.
Oh, hell yeah.
And
we're kind of lost.
yes, we're kind of lost. And I don't believe that you can expect any other race out here or any other individuals out here that are not within our, what we call
Pigmentation,
melanin.
melanin.
Or I like to call it Ethiopians, the ones with the burnt face. I don't believe that you can expect anybody to love you until you start loving yourself. You have to love the one you see in the mirror, and you have to love the individuals that birth you and that are within your small community, and then you can then express that out to your
And why
bigger
not? We're
communities.
delicious to love. We're beautiful.
We are.
In internally, externally, culturally, historically.
Right.
I mean, we are the leader of the human race on this planet.
Right.
I'm talking about other planets on this planet. And so why not?
Right. So basically, we have to start communicating with each other
Yes.
through love.
Right.
We have to start relating with each other, and we have to start cooperating with each other.
So just say through love, that starts with self-love.
It's everything starts with self-love.
Self-love,
If
got
you
it.
cannot identify it within you,
Just
you
want to be
cannot
clear for my
identify it.
listeners.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying.
It
but I want
is.
my listeners
It's
to
self-love.
Yeah.
Love what you see in the mirror, and everything else will fall up on top of you.
Yeah.
You'll get love from others. But if you don't love yourself first, and if you don't love the people that look like you, don't expect that other people are going to come in and embrace you.
Right.
So it starts with you.
Sorry.
That's it.
So what product came out of that?
This right here is one of the hoodies we have.
Gonna show the
Yep,
people.
I'm showing you. And what this says is elusive Sigma vibes. So I identify myself as an elusive Sigma male, which is most times you hear about alpha males and beta males. But there is another male category out here which is called an elusive Sigma male. And I identify myself with that because I am a person who, I'm not going to go into a room and try to take over the room. That's not my goal. I don't
But
have
you want to share.
to share.
Right.
And if I see that my role is to be a leader, I'll lead.
You step in.
If my role is to be a part of the team and to build, I'll do that as well.
Right.
But that doesn't mean that I can't lead.
Right.
And it doesn't mean that because
You're
I'm not
choosing your place
right
at that moment.
and it doesn't mean that because I'm not leading, I'm a beta male. It just means that I'm relating to my situation right there.
In that
Right.
moment. Yeah.
Going back to my athletic days, I don't remember one team that I went on that I didn't end up becoming the captain of the team. But I didn't start off as the captain.
That's not the intention.
And it wasn't my intention to be.
That's because you're a leader from the heart.
Right.
And people will see it and recognize
Exactly.
it. Because when you can lead from that perspective, there's nothing but the best can come from it.
Right.
And people will see the best and they'll think, oh my God, this is the person. who needs to
Exactly.
lead me. Yeah. But they can do the same thing.
They can do the same
if
thing.
they know how to apply that.
On my shirts,
Sure.
I have two different hoodies. This one is called the King. So I feel like a king. If I feel like a king inside, then I will prepare my external environment to look like a kingdom. So that is what the King is, because I feel like
It's not the crown thing.
it's not the crown thing. It's you cultivating a king-like attitude within,
There goes that
and
self-love
then
again.
you can cultivate a kingdom outside of you. Just
So
like
it's not the king from an ego perspective.
not the
It's
king
not
from
the
an ego
crown.
perspective.
It's none of that.
No.
It's really expressing yourself outward from the internal love that you do.
Right.
have.
So if you have the confidence inside that you're constantly, if you have self-confidence and know that you're always being supported by, your God or the
Right.
universe or
Right.
your higher self, then you can do anything.
Absolutely.
Everything is possible
Absolutely.
if you feel like a king inside.
Absolutely.
So that's what
Because you have to take on the role.
You have to take on the
Yeah.
role.
Because it's the only way that the help is going to come through to
Right.
you from your higher self.
Because your mind is
Acceptance.
energy that
Right.
pushes everything.
And that's the way you speak to yourselves. That's another way you speak to yourselves as well.
Exactly.
Let yourself know, giving it love, so it can always benefit you in terms of taking care of you.
Absolutely, because we have to speak life into ourselves.
Yes.
It's called affirmations.
Affirmations.
Because there's so many
Beliefs.
Faith.
Yes, faith.
There's so many distractions out here, and a lot of times our social norm and our family did not instill these higher qualities in us.
Yeah.
They did the best they could,
Right.
but there was a lot of defeating words and actions that they did that programmed us to not
be better
than we are.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the biggest problems in our community, is that we are not as positive as we need to be. Like this podcast right now, you're the only one that's doing it as a personal trainer, right? So you're giving me a voice. You're giving me the opportunity to show myself to the world. And you have a platform to do it.
Right.
While other people who've had the platform in the past and could be a gatekeeper to other trainers who are don't have that platform. What they've done, they've held them in their place because they're not allowing them to show themselves to the world. You've done that.
Appreciate that.
You know what I'm saying? That. And I think that that's something that we need to do as a community.
It's so funny you say that, because that comes back to something that's so important on the same hemisphere. You and I have worked together in other people's gyms. You and I have been treated a certain kind of way. We've been kicked out. We've been, treated in ways that feel like we were so much disrespect.
Exactly.
We didn't deserve it, of course.
We were just doing good work.
We were just doing good work, and certain owners of gym didn't like the fact that we have this confidence in ourselves. So they felt the need. We don't know who they think they are, because he's the owner of the gym. He's supposed to, but it's not my fault why you don't have confidence in who you are.
Right.
You know what I mean? And you and I, who've been in the same space, been treated by the same person, no names necessary. So we've been through a lot of that, and more places than one. That was one of my motivation for opening up Fit 360.
Okay.
One of the things that when I opened up Fit 360 and the trainers called me who were running their business differently, and they said, so, how much you going to pay us to train, and I said, oh, no, you're not. I'm not paying you anything.
Right.
What I'm doing for you is that this space is for you to come and create your business, market your business, and all you're going to do is pay me rent. You charge your client whatever you want, make your money. It was shocking to them.
Right.
Because before, the establishment was a different way around.
Right.
Not that it was wrong, if that's the way you want to, but what I wanted to do is to give trainers a creative place to express themselves. I wanted to have everything that they can desire in terms of training under the sun, that they can be creative with their clients.
Right.
Not only that they're helping themselves, but they're helping their own clients, because the clients are going to get benefit from the creativity that comes from the trainer.
Right.
And I also said to them, this is your home. Treat this as if this is your home, even though I'm the one paying the bills. I am not your boss. I don't want to be your boss. You are running your business outside of this space.
Right.
Just like I'm running my training business outside of this space, because my training business is separate from the gym. And so come and express yourself. Be happy. Treat this place like it is your own. And if you ever had the desire to open up your own space, now this is your own space.
Exactly. And if you feel like a king inside, like you
Yes.
did, you will create a kingdom that everybody can enjoy
themselves. Yeah.
And that's what it's about.
And this is what it's about. And to me, this business model was already successful before people started even walking through the door. And
because the intention,
was the
intention is what's gonna manifest and make it successful. If you have a pleasant intention and a pleasantness about you,
and it's not about you.
Right.
It's about sharing who you are. It's about building up people. It's about allowing people to grow, because you can't hold them by their hand.
Right.
You have to just give it to them. Give them the spoon, let them feed themselves.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So this is the spoon they can feed themselves and build their business and make money and help other people and go on vacation and buy their homes and they desire to do with their earnings, that's their, and I don't care how much money that they make, because I have trainers here charging more than I charge. And I love it. I encourage it. You know what I mean? If you can charge this and get the money, then get it.
Not counting anybody's pockets.
I'm not counting nobody's pocket. The fact that they're here and they get what I'm giving to them, that's all.
And that's what it's supposed to be. You're supposed to help, like you said earlier, you know, I'm a conduit to information. Well, you're a conduit to these trainers who want to express themselves in a clean, healthy environment. And this is their kingdom.
And some of them don't really get to they're not at the level like you and I are in their business, but it gives them the opportunity to get there.
Yeah, everybody has the opportunity, has the possibility and the opportunity to grow, man.
Right.
If I can grow, if I could be here right now, I know everybody can, because at one point I didn't see myself this way until I had a decisive meaning to what I wanted to be and who I was.
That right there, a decisive meaning. You have to decide.
You have to decide.
And then make
a choice. Once I knew what my meaning was in life, then I had a purpose to get there and to be that.
Yeah.
And I'm determined to get there no matter what condition is around me. Nothing can slow me from getting to that place that I need to get to. But me.
And you won't do that.
I'll never do that.
No. So what would you say to someone who is sitting on the couch, who wants to make this change in their life and can't find their way to make that change?
You know, that's where compassion comes in, because depression is tough in our world right now. Anxiety.
And it's real.
And it's real. And if a person is sitting on their couch, there's a reason why. There's some emotional blockage there. Okay? There's something that's holding them up, holding them back from getting up and moving and being able to get there. So the first thing that I would do if I were to instruct someone who is suffering from some form of depression or anxiety and they can't actually make that move or make that decision to get up and move, is firstly just remember that right now is the most important space that you can live in. And if you can just block out the noise of yesterday and block out the noise of tomorrow.
Be in the moment.
Be in the moment. You can get up.
Choose right now.
You can get up and go outside and just look in the sun. Just let that sun just touch you, and your thoughts will change. And once your thoughts change, your emotions will change. Once your emotions change, your feelings will change. Once your feelings change, it will send signals to every cell to get those cells up and be able to make other moves. But the most important thing is to block out yesterday, block out tomorrow, and just focus on right now.
And that's a choice.
That is a choice that you have to make. And once you've made that choice to just focus on right now, just get up, go outside, if it's the daytime, and look at that sun and appreciate that sun for being there. And if it's at night, look at that star and appreciate that star for being there. Be grateful for that moment that you have. And I can guarantee you, tomorrow, you will make some move to take a few steps, or to get into the gym, or to go jump on a bicycle,
right,
or to go for a jog or go for a walk. And one step and one breath at a time will take you into on a journey that you're gonna look back and say, man, I can't believe that. Yeah. And that's it. It's one step at a time and one breath at a time, and just being right here. There's nowhere else to go but right now.
If a client walks in the gym and say, you know, I want to lose 20 pounds in 2 weeks, what would you say to that client?
I would say it is possible. You have to be optimistic. If that client believes that he or she can lose 20 pounds, he or she can.
In 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks. Because remember, 80% of America has about 8 to 10 pounds of undigested fecal matter in their bodies. With proper detoxification, you could lose that in less than a week.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay. And it's healthy to do so.
Absolutely.
It's a healthy
With
way.
proper detoxification, you can lose that 8 to 10 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
That's
right.
halfway there.
Halfway there, okay.
And then we're made up of, some people might say 70 to 75% water.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're made up of over 90% water, because if you don't drink water, your muscles are gonna atrophy. Yeah,
just
exactly.
get tight.
So then,
Aches.
once you start moving and drinking more water and eating the right minerals, the stagnant water that's in your body. I'm not talking about the fecal matter now. I'm talking about stagnant water that's just sitting there not moving in your kidneys and all over your body. You're gonna lose that too. So right there, you're gonna lose 15 to 20 pounds, depending on the size you are,
Right.
the height you are, and so forth, and your genetics too, and the muscles that you have. Thing is possible. First, you need information. First, you need proper information. Then, as we said before, you need confidence, faith. And then it's good to have someone who can motivate you.
And push you.
And who have the experience to get you there.
And it might also take, there's definitely going to be some work that person has to do as an individual on their own, outside of their personal
Absolutely.
training. They might need to come to the gym twice for that one day.
And we'll instruct them on how to do that.
And push them.
But we are the people who have done this for 30 plus years, both of us, and some people more. We do have the information. We didn't learn it off the internet because we've been doing it longer than that.
But I have to say this, I have to add this in there. Yes, I agree that it is possible to do so. But what I find that when a person hire a personal trainer, they think that they have done their work, and it's totally up to us to make that happen.
Right.
And what they don't realize that it's not totally up to us. A very small percentage is up to us. We're giving you the information. We're working you out for 60 minutes in one day. You could be training with us 2 to 3 times a day. The rest of the week, the days that you don't train with us, it's your responsibility to do the things you need to do. And we can only give them the information to do X, Y, Z, but they have to actually get up and do the work to make that happen. That's living within the possibility.
That's living within the possibilities.
Yeah.
And your mind has to be right.
Mine has to be right.
Because if you're holding on to everything and you're attached to everything that's around you,
right,
your body can't release that fecal matter.
That's like checking into the mirror constantly and all that stuff. You're checking on stuff that's not really there.
Exactly. You have to,
and that's where your focus is.
Go.
You're focusing on things that's not there.
If you are able to release that mind,
and that's the energy aspect we're talking about.
Detach yourself from all of those things that you're holding on to that's creating emotional ties and that's not necessary. You can lose.
And looking at fitness magazine, looking at some people who is slim, because that's all they put on the cover.
Fitz,
and inside the magazine.
You can lose 5 pounds in a day or two.
Yeah, of course.
I know
I can.
I know I can too.
Right.
And like I said, I've been fasting 11 o'clock yesterday. I'm not losing weight because I'm fasting, because that's not my goal.
Right.
But if I wanted to lose weight, I wouldn't even I could lose weight.
Yeah.
But my goal is for clarity. My goal is to open myself up for information.
Be a conduit.
So that is where that Qigong is moving towards. But if my Qigong was moving towards losing 5 pounds, I would lose 5 pounds because I have the know-how. I've practiced it. That's my discipline. That is my discipline. That's the discipline that I've cultivated over 20 plus years of choosing personal training wholeheartedly.
Right. Good stuff. I got another question. How important is rest for the human body?
I think
we
rest.
kind of touched on that a little bit earlier, but I want, if there's any more context on your perspective.
I think rest is just as, or even just as important as eating. Rest is the most important thing a human being can put into their lives. Without proper rest, you can't grow. Without proper rest, you don't have the energy to look within yourself. Without proper rest, your body will not be able to generate the energy. Remember, we're just energy. We're a battery.
Yeah.
And batteries can lose energy.
It has to be recharged.
Right, it has to be recharged.
Right.
And that's what rest is, the
And if you
recharging
don't
the
recharge
battery.
it, you're gonna have to throw it away.
You're gonna have to
It
disperse
is in
it.
our case, it's death.
And when we don't rest, our DNA is affected. Remember, we have what's called telomeres. Telomeres is an extension of your DNA. And one of the major reasons why people age faster than some people is because of premature deterioration of the telomeres. And the major reason why is because of lack of rest.
Does that attach to the testosterone? At all?
What?
The telomeres? Is that a part of the testosterone in the body? Because
No.
also lack of testosterone also affects your aging too as well.
Process as well. No. So your telomeres is an extension of your chromosomes, which is an extension of your DNA.
Got it.
So your chromosome is the blueprint of who you are.
Got it.
And the telomeres is an extension of that. Every time your stem cells are regenerate itself, your telomeres shorten a little bit.
Okay.
But your body produces an enzyme called telomerase. And if you eat the proper food and rest, and your body is able to generate more of these telomerase enzymes,
Right.
you can not only maintain your telomere and stay
Grow more?
young, but it can grow more.
Okay.
And you can become younger.
Okay.
But most of these enzymes and proteins in your body only are secreted when you're sleeping. And you remember, your body works off what's called a biorhythmical clock.
And that also has to do with having proper nutrients.
Proper
as well,
nutrients.
which is just very challenging in our
Exactly.
environment.
And you mentioned earlier about testosterone. Testosterone is known to secrete mostly in a human being between the times of after 12 p.m. and it cuts off dramatically at 12 a.m. So the more rest you get in the evening to night at 12 a.m., the more testosterone your body will
So
secrete.
So you say from what time? From
From
12
12 p.m.
to
till 12 a.m.
So that's
Your-
12 p.m., which is noon.
Right.
That's when the testosterone happens.
That's when your
That's
body
the-
secretes the most testosterone in the body.
Okay.
And melatonin, which is also a youth enzyme or protein. I like to call it a protein. Most people like to say enzyme.
Is there any food that you can eat more of, or you should consume to also help that to
Absolutely.
sustain
Remember, we
testosterone? I'm talking.
yes.
Yeah.
Oh, testosterone? Oh, absolutely. Remember, everything that's within is without. We are basically a fruit of the earth. And the earth will provide everything we need.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And every nutrient that's in the earth
And-
is in our body.
And every nutrient that's in the earth.
chemicals. Yeah.
Right. And also the way we live. Like, for example, I told you that I was fasting. A lot of people are not aware that fasting helps to secrete testosterone as well.
Really?
Yes.
I wasn't aware of that.
Sprinting helps to
Secrete
testosterone.
Okay.
And we all know about the deer antlers.
So rest, which is and so sprinting,
Right.
Right.
And also
What about
CMOS.
weight training?
Well, weight training is an
Essentially,
explosive
it's-
movement.
yeah.
So any explosive movement will help to secrete testosterone in the
Okay.
body.
I do those things. I'm talking about like
Foods.
food specifically.
So, like foods,
Certain-
CMOS.
Okay.
CMOS is one of the number one foods that we have available to us right now. That, well, if it's cultivated in the
it's
sea,
the right, yeah.
right, because it's
It's not
untouched.
being farmed. It's being farmed
being
now.
farmed.
And certain parts of the world, CMOS is supposed to be better than some, like in Jamaica and in Ireland,
Okay,
right? Which is called the word Irish
yeah,
moss.
Irish
came
moss.
from, right?
So basically, CMOS that's grown in rocks provide the best minerals. So CMOS provides 92 minerals, and then there is another sea vegetable called bladderwrack, which provides the other 10 minerals that the CMOS doesn't have, because your body requires 102 minerals in order to fortify itself of all the minerals that it needs to a day.
Okay.
So the CMOS gives you 92, the bladderwrack gives you
10.
which gives you all the minerals that your body requires.
So that's the 102.
That's 102. Yep. In Jamaica, we have all these earth tubers, which like yellow yam and hafu yam and
white yam. Yeah,
renta yam,
negro yam,
negro yam.
All kinds of yams.
So,
which is what they're saying that helps our Jamaican sprinters. Right.
So those things help to produce testosterone in the body.
You can get it.
You can get it,
but it's not good quality because of the time they export.
Right.
Distance and time. Tubers are considered yams.
Yams and
that's
potato.
grown in a
Right.
tube. Okay.
Right. But should be wild crafted, not cultivated. So in Jamaica, yam is grown in a hill.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they have yam hills. But now we are so sophisticated that we farm it, but you're still getting the real natural earth. So once you can get it from the real natural earth in Jamaica, you know you're getting that testosterone.
Good quality.
Right.
Which is considered carbohydrates as well, which is very necessary for life.
Right. And then a lot of people are not aware that good cholesterol is necessary to produce testosterone in the body, which you get from, and I'm talking about the HDL cholesterols, not the LDLs. LDL is the bad cholesterol, HDL is the good cholesterol, which you get from like coconut oil.
But you still need the LDLs.
Well, you're going to get that anyway. So we don't want to focus much on that. We want to really focus on the HDLs, which are the good ones, which help to push out the bad ones, which are LDLs. But the major foods that I consume with the HDL cholesterol is, number one, coconut oil and coconut milk. I use that in everything. Olive oils, very good cholesterol and good omega-3s and omega-9s. So those are some of the things that you need in order to get out, or I would say increase the energy of foods that produce testosterone. So when you eat these foods, these heavy tubers, it's good to mix it with some form of, good fats. Because it helps to absorb and digest better in the body.
Got it. So there's not only eating of the food, but you want to have stuff to help it digest properly.
Right, because combination of foods is just as important as the quality of food. Like you see a lot of vegans who don't know how to combine their foods, and they're fat.
Right.
How can you be a vegan, you don't eat meat, but you're unhealthy and you're fat? That's because you don't know how to combine the foods that you're eating.
But also a lot of those vegans I find are eating fake food,
and that's another problem too. Than the fake foods that they eat.
It's not real food. It's not like when we in Jamaica and the Rastafarians are eating real which is where vegetarian for me started. Exactly. They're not eating any fake. No, they don't need no burger.
Everything from the earth.
It's everything from the earth, and they cook. And coconut milk is a very big part of that.
Huge part of our culture. Huge part of our diet.
Now that we have these processed coconut milk and cream and oil, what do you have to say about that?
Garbage.
Because I wanted to get there before we went somewhere else.
Garbage.
I figured.
Throw it out.
You get real coconut, go through the process of graturing it,
nothing else,
and juice it out yourself.
Nothing else.
What about the oils of that though?
But we're living in America, so graturing coconut is not something that I do anymore. So I blend it. I just put some water in it, some warm water, and I blend it, just so that people don't think that, oh my goodness, trying to grate coconut. Yeah, I don't do that anymore. Right.
So you use the blender.
Yeah, I use my Vitamix, cut up and put some warm water in there, let it sit for a minute, and then I blend it and strain it.
So let the oil, whatever is in the coconut, secrete into it. So the sitting is important.
The sitting is important in some warm water. About 10 minutes, 10 minutes.
And then squeeze it out, strain it.
And then you blend it and then you squeeze it out.
Okay.
And that's it. Simple as that.
Awesome.
And you might want to keep a little bit of the fiber. You don't have to keep all of it, but a little bit of the fiber.
If you're making porridge, itself.
Yeah, if you're making like porridge. Because you need fiber.
Right.
And that's one of the things that a lot of us are not getting in our diet is enough insoluble fiber to move all this undigested foods out of our body. So we need
all that undigested food seeps in our bloodstream.
Exactly.
Which makes our blood
toxic,
contaminated and toxic.
Exactly. So
and then we're drinking alkaline water to clean out that toxin, and we're definitely not eating enough fruits to alkaline our body, our blood, which we're using water, which is not, to me, it's not real alkaline anyway.
Well, I would say
that's just my opinion.
Yeah, water can alkaline your system, getting the proper water.
If you use lemon.
You can
Right
use
there,
lemon. You could use lemon,
lime and lemon.
lime or
Yep.
lemon, or if you get a high quality alkaline water, it will help to
Okay.
cleanse your system as well.
Mhm.
Yeah, and good spring water.
Okay.
Like high quality spring water has minerals in it. That's gonna
Right.
help to
Spring water. Right.
Yeah,
It's coming out of the earth.
Right. Water is powerful.
Absolutely.
Yeah, water is
Well, we
very
used
powerful.
to get spring water. We in Jamaica we get spring water
Mhm.
out of the river.
Right.
Yeah, like
Exactly.
it was nothing.
Yeah. So but water
Which is alkaline. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Don't
Mineral.
sleep.
We have mineral bath in Jamaica. People
Oh,
go
man.
and bathe in the
Water
as
is
you say.
powerful in Jamaica.
The skin is also organ to intake
Exactly.
nutrients. So, yeah, I mean that's like life. That's why you want to go back home and live.
I'm telling you, man. When I go to Jamaica, Fitzy, I love to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna lie. I think the reason why I am striving so hard to become successful in everything I do is so that I can have the freedom to sleep.
Sleep.
I want to know. I don't want to ever set a clock to alarm me to get
Wake
up
up in the morning.
when I reach a certain place in my development.
Mm.
I want to know that I can get up when I want to get up, and of course I will keep my structure. I like to go to bed around 9:30, 10.
Okay.
Okay, and that's for my health. But I want to be able to get up without a clock every day. And if I feel like
So you're not doing that
sleeping
now. That's not happening now.
No, I have to work.
Right.
I have to
right.
get up at 4
Right.
o'clock in the morning, 3:30
So
in
that's
the
what
morning.
having the freedom to do to come
Exactly.
where you don't need that.
That is freedom to me when
Mhm.
I don't have to have a clock that wakes me up.
That's I look forward to Sundays for that purpose.
Bro, I don't even want to think about Sunday. I want to one day not even remember what day it is. I don't want to know
Yeah.
Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or
time.
weekend. Yes, I want to know that the days just
Feels like one big
it's just
day
one big day.
throughout the
'Cause,
rest. Yeah.
like I said, as I chose the meaning of personal training, I never worked
Mhm.
a day in my life. Well,
Mhm.
I don't want to know the day.
Right.
I want to embrace every day as just another.
So you want to be at a point
bright
where
one.
when you get up, it is the right time to get up. For
It's
that
the right
day.
time to get up, and I can greet my world and greet every. That's freedom to me.
I
That's
love it.
success to me.
I love it, bro. I love it. I love it.
My success, and that's my freedom. Like you said, when you become a conduit to information, it never ends.
Never ends. Yeah.
Because the environment that is feeding you
Because source is infinite.
is infinite.
So there's information is infinite.
And when you reach a point in your world and in your development, when you realize that you don't know anything,
That's when you know everything. Though.
that's when you're open for all the
for
information
everything
to come in.
Yeah.
So you can never have an end to a conversation.
Goal to mastery is to know that you don't know anything.
And that's where I am.
So, Master Patrick,
Yes, sir.
thanks for being here, man.
Man,
I appreciate you,
I
brother.
appreciate
I love
you
you.
having me.
Dude, my pleasure, man.
Yeah, man. It's been a journey.
All right.
And we're just starting.
We're just starting.
We're just beginning.
Exactly. All right, people. It was great to have your ear and your eyes and to listen to my brother Patrick here, man. He's amazing. I know we're going to have him back again. Whenever that is, we don't know yet. But the date's already set. We just don't know it right now. And I just want to say peace. See you next time. Wow. Bro, that was amazing.
You liked it?
That was amazing, man. Hands down.
I think it got real powerful.